what I want you to do is I want you to write down these dialogues. This is for your past appraisal calls, right? This is what hopefully most of you are going to be doing, is you're going to try and bring back past market appraisals. And remember, try not to ring the people that you like. Bring back every market appraisal you've ever done in the entire history of your real estate career. So, now I know that a couple of you are doing some different things, so I'm going to teach you how to do that. First one, how things progressed. It's the most important way to open the call. So, hey, it's Josh Phegan calling from Hodges. We had the ability to come down to your property and give you a bit of an idea of the value a few months ago, and I thought I'd just quickly check in to see how have things progressed. Do you notice I didn't say, we came out to your joint and gave you a market appraisal? Said, hi, it's Josh Phegan calling from Hodges. We had the opportunity to come out to your home a few months ago to give you a bit of an idea of the value, and I just thought I'd quickly check in to see how have things progressed. Next piece of dialogue, you want to note down, what are the next steps for you guys? The great thing about that question is it gets the customer to tell you what they actually think the next steps are. So what are the next steps for you? They go, well, I've got to get a new wife. She know you? No. Well, we've got to get the job relocation. We're waiting for it to go in the police gazette before we can move. Right? So you start the conversation. So what are the next steps? So you've got those two things, how have things progressed, and what are the next steps? Next one after that, how can I help? You know, if you need it, you can use that. So how can I help in the way that you work with the customer?
Sorry, so with nothing progressed, we're not looking at doing anything at this stage.
Okay.
You still say, what are the next steps?
Yeah, of course. So what are the next steps for you guys?
Nothing. So we're not looking at doing anything.
Okay, great. Then get off the call and hang up. Yeah, next. Remember that word that I taught you earlier today? Next. Yeah, good. So you got the right placement. So how have things progressed? What are the next steps? And then, like, literally, this is the killer dialogue. If I had a buyer, could I mention your place, or should I sell them something else? Now, you must use both parts of the dialogue. You can't just use the first bit and say, so like if I had a buyer, right? Should I mention your place? Right? You've got to add the other bit. Or should I sell them something else? Because out of the 7 deadly sins, it hits which button? The greed button. Yeah? Greed, envy, right? You want to hit 2 buttons at the same time, right? So if I had a buyer, could I mention your place, or should I sell them something else? Very important you do both parts of the call, both parts of that conversation. Now if they say, you could mention our place, you do not turn around and say, well look, you know, by law I actually want a Section 32 organised, you need to sign an agency agreement, you need to pay me 3% for the fee, and 10 grand for marketing. Because that will probably kill the deal. Does that make sense? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to move to this next part of the dialogue. Look, I probably need to see it again. It would be great to see you and good to catch up. Is there any chance I can do something tomorrow, either 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? Have you noticed there's a couple of things going on here? One, great to see you and good to catch up. Does that sound more like a friend, yes or no? Hello? Yeah. And so therefore, if it's more like a friend, you're more likely to get the appointment. So I'd probably need to see it again. It would be great to see you and good to catch up. I can do something tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 4 o'clock, what's best? Why do I give 2 times? It's called the alternative choice clause. When the customer gets 2 options, they'll usually make a decision on one of them or nominate another. Is that pretty cool? That's what we want you to do. So the dialogue's very, very simple. We go through, we say, how have things progressed? What are the next steps? How can I help you? If I had a buyer, could I mention your place, or should I sell them something else? If they say yes to that, or they're slightly positive, say, look, I probably need to see it again. It'd be great to see you and good to catch up. I can do something tomorrow at either 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. What's best? Question number 8.
Do you have a suggested dialogue for a listing that we may have lost, but has been since passed in and the authority with the other agent has expired?
Same question. How have things progressed? Well, we haven't sold with the other agent. Okay, so what are your plans from here? What are your next steps? Well, we don't know. So if I had a buyer, would I be able to mention your place? Or, yeah, you would. Well, look, in order to do that, I probably need to come back down and see you again. Good question, good response? That's all I want you to think in terms of psychology. Okay, so there's a few different groups that they're going to be calling in here. My preference is to get you to call back through all of your past market appraisals. For some of you that don't have past market appraisals, if you're calling back through buyers, then you're going to know that your buyer dialogue is sitting on page number 10, where you've got those 9 questions for qualification, i.e. what's the reason for the move. And your first piece of dialogue is, have you found anything yet? So that's all I need you to do. So, quick show of hands. Who's going to be calling back past market appraisals? Let's get all the hands up. Okay, good. Who's going to be calling back like buyers from open for inspections or old inquiries? Okay, good. There's a few of you in there. Who in the room is going to be calling back some past clients, people that might have bought or sold with them? Okay, so past client dialogue is slightly different. With past client dialogue, you might ring them up and say, hey Andrew, it's Josh Phegan calling. You know what, I was reviewing your file today and I noticed that I haven't been back down to your place since you bought it from us. What's it worth now? And that's the perfect way to get back in the door with some of those past clients. Have we got any questions before we start the exercise? Any questions whatsoever? Okay, so this is how it works. What we're going to do, we're all going to jump on our mobile phones. Take a chair, put it off to the edge of the building, you know, whatever we need to do. Try and stay in this area if we can. I'm going to set my timer on my iPhone from 45 minutes down to 0. During the course of the call session, I'm probably going to come and sit next to you or listening to what's going on. I may also nominate some dialogue for you, like I might say, if I had a buyer. Just to encourage you to use that dialogue when you're there with the customer. Let's get on the phone, measure...
Hi, I'm Michael, I'm a Capricorn. Just press record, good timing.
And Warren, we might need you to pop out front.
Alrighty guys, let's wrap this up and see how those new dialogues and the appointments went. Starting with Nick.
So calls, connections, appointments?
Calls, connections, appointments.
11 calls, 7 voicemail, 4 connected, 1 appointment, 1 set of side-by-side cameras.
So that's good.
Andrew?
9 calls, 1 appraisal, 1 appointment.
How many connections?
Yeah, next week.
Good.
14 calls, 9 connections, 6 appointments.
6. 6 at the 9. How many appointments? 6.
Yeah.
It's a round of applause and 6 appointments. Great result.
23 calls in total, 12
Guys,
business
just
bank,
nice and
11
quiet,
contacts,
yeah.
1 appointment next week.
So what are the numbers there, Warren?
23 calls.
Yeah.
11 connections, 1 appointment.
1 appointment, good, well done.
13, 8 and another.
13, 8 and donut.
11, 8 and 2 appointments.
Alright.
15, 8 and 0.
Donuts.
1 for December, 1 for January.
Krispy Kreme.
17, 8 and 2 appointments.
16, 9 and 3.
18, 8 and 2.
25, 13 and 2.
11, 6 and 1.
8, 5 and 3.
10, 4, 0. 15, 6 and 2.
15, 6 and 2, can you get that one?
16, was it 16, 12 and 5.
That's a pretty round of applause.
Okay.
25, 12 and 3.
10 calls, 6 connections, no appointments. Yet.
Yeah.
8, 6, 2.
11, 6, 2.
25, 5 and 1.
3, 3 and 1.
8, 5, 2.
8, 2, 1.
19, 7 and 1. 15, 7 and 2.
7, 3, 2. Any others I've missed?
No, got that.
There was someone that
How about Katie?
12, 7 and 2.
L was 554.
554 for Errol. Anybody else that I've missed? Oh, Peter. 1691.
11.
We should have drawn lines on those, I think.
20 upwards.
And that's it.
So, do you want to add that up? 56. What did I say our target was? 60. What did we get? 56. Pretty cool result, yes or no? Yeah. Okay, so a couple of key things because I know that we're on time. I just want to see was some interesting insights that you gained by doing that exercise. Couple of things. Did you notice it being any different with it being a 45-minute timer counting down to 0? Yeah, and by seeing the time, did that force you to kind of do the work? So hopefully there was less conversation and less people got involved in interrupting you during the course of your process. In addition to that, did you also find that like if you didn't stick to the script, you didn't get through the calls as quick? How important is it to have a list of people in front of you to call? So you can actually just keep on just like dialing one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And you notice that today there's no interruptions in terms of computers and other people coming up to you during the course of the conversation. You just got to stay focused doing the work. Any other interesting insights gained by people in the room? One that are worthwhile sharing. Let's take 3 before we finish. What do we got?
I had one guy remember me from 13 months ago. He said no other agent has contacted him in 13 months, and he bought 1 month after the 13 months. So he goes in the 12 months that he's had a property, no one's contacted him, even from Stuart, and that he bought it. And he said he wants to be a long-term contact and basically call him every couple of months and see how he's doing, blah, blah. So he just, let me have it, and I was shocked.
Best thing you can do is say, you know what, that probably means I haven't seen the home that you ended up buying. Is there any chance I could come down? It'd be great to see what you ended up purchasing. You can do something tomorrow, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, what's best? Appointment like that. Good. Any other key insights? 2 more?
I was still in the mobile phone.
I see you're still on the mobile phone of the customer. Did anyone try just leaving the name and number only and get some callbacks? Yes. Yeah, okay, so that's a pretty cool insight. Great, tell us about that.
I was just, I left the name and number with my mate Jose, and he turned around and said, I just left my name and number, just brief, and he rang me and goes, is that Peter? And that was it. So he knew straight away who it was. It's
good.
Really good relationship. Now, obviously being the number one, we've got to ask you about how you got all those appointments.
I just picked the cherries out of my appraisals.
So I thought you were going to say, I've got some friends who are Italian, one leads to another, they passed me through the one call with the 7 appointments. That's excellent. All right, cool. So we enjoyed today as an exercise, yes or no? Yeah, pretty cool. So obviously next time we come around, what we're going to do is we'll do some more stuff over the course of this next little bit on prospecting over the course of these 3 sessions that we booked in for this year. And obviously at the end of each session, I want to keep on doing the calls because I think that actually helps you in that as a group, when you know that everyone else is prospecting, it helps you to stay focused. And if I can help you to come to one of these sessions and produce, $10, $20, $30,000 worth of income by just getting on the phones and doing some of those calls, that'd be a great result. Let's have a quick look at the stats. 415 calls. Out of those 415 calls, 214 of those connections. That's not too far off being half, in terms of 50%. Out of the 214, 56 in terms of the actual close rate. So if you have a look at that, that's not too far off being 25% there either. So from that point of view, if you knew that out of 10 connected calls, you should pick up 2.5 appointments, then you just kept on doing that work, and all you did is every day did 1 call session where you got 10 connected calls and you got 2 appointments out of it, then you just did that over the course of the 5 days, then you're going to move yourself into getting lots and lots more listing opportunities just by doing the work. So I hope that you've learned from that as an exercise that the numbers don't actually lie. If you just go through as a part of that process, 10% of the total calls that you do, it's probably a bit more than that, about 15% of the total calls that you do will end up in an appointment. But out of the ones that you actually connect with, 25% to 30% of those will actually end up in a relationship with the customer. So I think that as a group, well done on today. Good work while in just getting in there and actually doing the work. And if you just do those little things like we asked you to do and follow through on the systems that we've got in front of you in the manuals, you're going to have a great career. Any quick questions before we go? Okay, for those of you that aren't directors, we hope that you have a great trip back to the office to do some more calls, and for directors, let's stick around for a little director session over lunch. Cool guys, we'll see you soon.